Hi there, everybody. This is Ralph Kiner. Welcome to another New York Mets doubleheader brought to you by Rheingold Extra Dry and Viceroy Cigarettes. Well, today the Mets meet the St. Louis Cardinals in the final two games of their 14-day road trip. It'll be a doubleheader. The temperature right here is 64 degrees. It's been overcast all morning long. In fact, the weather for the three-day series has been just about the same all the way through. We have a threat of rain in the air, although at this moment, game time just about underway, the rain has held off and we're all set to go. And we're on hand here to bring you the action of the doubleheader. Right now, the starting pitchers for the first game warming up in their respective bullpens. For the St. Louis Cardinals, Curt Simmons, a left-hander with a record of 6 wins and only 1 loss. And for the New York Mets, Galen Cisco, who has won 1 game and lost 4. Well, it's almost game time, so settle back with a tall, cold glass of Rheingold, and we'll give you the starting lineups. For the St. Louis Cardinals, who are currently in 3rd place in the National League race, they trail the San Francisco Giants by 4.5 games. It'll be Curt Flood leading off and playing in center field. Curt has had quite a series so far. He has picked up 6 hits and 9 trips to the plate against the Mets. Batting second, playing shortstop, Dick Grote. He's batting at .343 this year. Batting in the 3rd position at first base, Bill White. Batting in the cleanup spot, the famous man, Stan the Man Musial. He'll be playing in left field. Batting 5th and playing 3rd base, Ken Boyer. He's had 5 hits and 8 trips to the plate in the series. Batting 6th and playing right field, George Altman. The 7th batter will be the 2nd baseman, Julian Javier. Batting 8th and catching in the game, Tim McCarver. And on the mound, batting 9th, pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals, it'll be Curt Simmons. For the New York Mets, Jim Pearsall will be leading off and playing center field. Batting 2nd and playing 3rd base, Charlie Neal. The 3rd batter, Ron Hunt. He'll be at 2nd base. The cleanup man, Cliff Cook, in left field. Batting 5th and playing first base, Ed Kranepool. The 6th batter in the batting order will be Jim Hickman. He'll be playing in right field. Batting 7th at shortstop, Al Moran. The 8th batter will be Norm Sherry, the catcher. And on the mound, batting 9th, Galen Cisco. Well, it's Curt Simmons now going to the mound, picking up the ball, getting set to go, and right now, our national anthem. Quite a road trip. They've seen Houston, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and now here in St. Louis. They've had a chance to look around, and those are mighty fine cities, but I'll tell you one thing. You've got to know that New York has just about everything. It's the most wonderful place in the world. Yes, you name it, and New York has got it. Parks, beaches, baseball, football, golf, lakes, amusements. People in New York have a lot to choose from, and that certainly goes for beers, too. There are quite a few brands of beer in the market. And I think it's really something that of all the brands of beer available, New Yorkers have made Rheingold Extra Dry their favorite. That's quite a tribute to the quality of Rheingold. Rheingold is brewed of the choicest ingredients, brewed the long, slow, costly way, the extra dry way. And Extra Dry tells you why Rheingold is so wonderful, so much more refreshing. It's beer as beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean, clear through. So why not enjoy the extra refreshment of Rheingold Extra Dry beer? Join all the millions who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Well, it's Curt Simmons warming up on the mound, and Curt has quite a record behind him. He was one of the outstanding pitchers in baseball for the Philadelphia Phillies. Then he hurt his arm, was released by the Phillies, picked up by the St. Louis Cardinals, and he has come on to have a second career. And as he concludes his warm-up pitches, It's my pleasure to bring into the microphone here to bring you the play-by-play, Mr. Bob Murphy.
Thank you very kindly, Ralph Kiner. Veteran Kurt Simmons, now 34 years old and off to a tremendous start. Kurt has won 6, lost only 1. He completed 5 of his first 6 starts this year. First pitch of the game to Jimmy Pearsall is outside and high, ball 1. This is the 7th time in 13 games on this road trip that the opposing club has started a left-hander against Casey Stingle's Mets. A drive hit toward the right field line, a base hit by Jimmy Pearsall. Ball goes into the corner. Jimmy around first on his way to second. Peg coming in by George Altman. It's a 2-base hit to right. Jimmy Pearsall doubles to right field. That ball was well hit. It was a line drive. Close to the right field line and into the corner, 310 feet out. And so Pearsall has his second hit for the New York Mets, a double to right. That brings up the third baseman, Charlie Neal. Now Charlie Neal up against Kurt Simmons. Whacked foul off to the right toward the upper deck and out of play. Kurt Simmons has been truly amazing. In 63 innings this year, he has been tagged for only 2 home runs. He has an earned run average of less than 2 earned runs per 9 innings, has won 6 while losing 1. He has 5 complete games in 8 starts. He tries to bunt, the ball is fouled, no play. Last year, Kurt won 10 and lost 10. Against the New York Mets last season, Simmons won none and lost 1. A 15-year veteran with 147 lifetime victories. Back in the early part of the 1960 season, he was released by the Philadelphia Phils. Breaking ball off the outside corner. At that time, Solly Hemus was managing St. Louis. Solly had been a teammate of Kurt Simmons with the Philadelphia Phillies. He got him on the telephone and gave him a second opportunity. And as Ralph was telling you, he has certainly made the most of it and has started practically a brand new career for himself. Next pitch to Charlie Neal, a ground ball hit towards second. Javier makes the play on to Bill White, in time getting Charlie Neal as Pearsall moves to third.
You know, Bob, in hitting against Kurt Simmons when he first came up to the major leagues, he was one of the fastest pitchers that ever came into baseball. He had a fastball that moved all the time, not much of a curve. Now, of course, he's lost that blazing fastball, but his fastball still moves, and he has gone to a change of speed. One of the things that makes him really tough is his motion.
He has a motion that reminds you a great deal of Johnny Sane. He is a pitcher that, over the years, has had his share of freak accidents that have sidelined him from time to time. Now Ron Hunt is the batter, and the pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Redbirds now bring their infield in tight on the left side of the diamond and about 3 strides off the edge of the carpet on the right side. The outfield straight away against Ron Hunt. Ron has 1 hit and 7 times up in the Cardinal series. Pitch thrown by Simmons over at the knees for a called strike. Right now, veteran Kurt Simmons and right-hander Ernie Broglio are pacing the Cardinal pitching. Kurt has won 6 and lost 1. Broglio has won 5 and lost 1. The 1-1 pitch, curve is over on the outside corner, a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Since Solly Hemus gave Kurt Simmons his second opportunity, he has won 32 games for the Cardinals. Outside and low in the count even now, 2-2. Jimmy Pearsall on third, 1 away. We're in the top half of the first inning. Galen Cisco on the mound for New York in the opening game of the doubleheader today here in St. Louis. Off the outside corner, Ron takes. Count full now, 3-2. Rookie Ron Hunt, batting at .287, has the highest batting average among the New York Mets. Mets as a team simply have not been hitting on this road trip. The games they won and the games in which they played very well They did so on strong pitching and good defensive play. Now the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, it's outside, and Ron is the base runner. Now batting cleanup for New York is the left fielder, Cliff Cook. Cliff 0 for 3 in this Cardinal series. Actually, Ron Hunt is the only member of the New York Mets batting over 240. Mets simply have not been able to get their base hits on this trip. Strike on the outside corner to Cook. Final 2 games of the road trip. This is the 13th game, the 7th time in 13 the opposing club has come with a left-hander. One thing that has hurt the Mets a great deal on this trip against all the left-hand pitching, of course, has been the fact that Frank Thomas has been sidelined with an ailing left shoulder. Blazer, but it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kurt Simmons likes to set that fastball up. He doesn't rely on it as his bread and butter pitch, but when he does throw it, he throws it pretty well. New York with runners at the corners. 1 away, top half of the first inning. Now Simmons makes the stop. Here's his pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Johnny Keane and the third-place St. Louis Cardinals will be in New York on the next homestand opening on Tuesday night for New York. Redbirds will be coming in for a weekend series. Friday night, a Ladies' Day game on Saturday, and a doubleheader on Sunday 2 weeks from today. Next Sunday, a doubleheader in the Polo Grounds against Danny Murtaugh's Pirates. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Cliff Cook struck out by Kurt Simmons. Now there are 2 away, and Eddie Cranepool will try and keep it alive. Eddie leading of the New York Mets in this series in St. Louis with 3 hits and 7 times at bat. The only games won on the trip by New York, Al Jackson beat the Colt 45s in Houston, and Carl Willie shut out the San Francisco Giants at Candlestick. But in the games in San Francisco and in Los Angeles, the New York Mets lost some real heartbreakers. 6-5 and 4-3 in San Francisco. Pitch to Cranepool, up high, it's ball 1. Eddie has hung in there well against the left-hand pitching that the Mets have encountered on this trip. No doubt about it, the addition of Jimmy Pearsall is going to help to offset all this left-hand pitching. Over the years, a dozen in the major leagues, he has hit left-handers well. Inside and low, it's ball 2, 2-0. Quite a tribute to Duke Snyder, of course, that the opposing managers are trying to work as much left-handing pitching as possible to get away from Duke. This is a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Runners on first and third, 2 men down in the first inning. Count on Eddie Cranepool, 2 balls and 1 strike. Eddie batting at 229. Off the outside corner, it's ball 3 and the count 3-1. The right fielder, Jim Hickman, is the on-deck batter. Well, so far, over the first 5 weeks of the season, Hickman has had his best moments on Sunday afternoon, so maybe this will be another big Sunday for Jim Hickman. 3-1 delivery. That's over at the knees, a call strike. A full count now, 3-2 on Cranepool. Kurt Simmons in his last outing was the winning pitcher in a 5-4 win over the Chicago Cubs. He won his first 5 games this year, and in winning his first 5, he had complete games in all but 1. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Eddie Cranepool had a high fastball to go after, failed to get it. Eddie, in disgust at himself, slings that bat over toward the dugout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. The score in the middle of the first inning, the Mets nothing and the Cardinals coming to bat. half of inning number 1, Galen Cisco pitching for the New York Mets. Galen hurled very effectively against the Dodgers in his last start. A game the Dodgers won on a Texas League double down the left field line in the 6th inning with the bases loaded off the bat of Willie Davis. Now Galen into his windup. He pitched to Curt Flood. Fastball over, knee high, strike 1 called. Curt Flood wielding a hot bat in this series. He has hiked his average to 268 by collecting 6 hits in 10 times at bat. He was 3 for 5 at each of the first 2 games in the series. Now he lays off. It's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Galen Cisco has made 2 starts on this road trip, 1 against the Giants and 1 against the Dodgers, and has pitched very well in both games. Foul ball coming back toward our broadcasting booth. No play. Against the Giants, that was the extra inning thriller. Galen went 9 innings. He gave up only 3 runs and allowed just 5 hits. That was the game the Mets lost in the wee hours of the morning back in New York on a disputed home run hit by Joey Amalfitano. Pitching 1 and 2. A smash toward the hole. Base hit going to right field. And a red-hot Curt Flood is on with a base hit to right, his 7th hit of the series. Now that brings up Dick Groat. Dick batting at .343. If he can maintain the pace he has set over the first quarter of the season, he would wind up with about 220 base hits. Real good hit and run man. Right-hand batter. There goes the runner. The pitch low. The peg down by Sherry. The slide. Out at second base. Norm Sherry to Al Moran, and Curt Flood is out trying to steal. Flood was on his way. The pitch was taken by Groat. It was low for a ball. And Norm Sherry rifled down to Al Moran to get Curt Flood. 1 away, nobody on. The batter, Dick Groat, with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. Mets in the outfield playing Groat as an opposite field hitter. Pitch by Cisco is too high. Ball 2, 2-0. Passing the scores of all the other games along to you as they come in. Curve over, a beauty by Galen Cisco. His real good bread and butter pitch, that curve that caught the outside corner, 2 balls and a strike. Just off the outside corner, 3-1. In the National League today, Houston, a single game at Chicago. Pittsburgh, a single game at Milwaukee. Philadelphia, a doubleheader at Cincinnati. It'll be Chris Short and Jim Maloney in the first game. Inside, ball 4, and Groat walks. That will bring up the first baseman, Bill White, hitting at .307. The Dodgers and Giants wind up their series at Candlestick, with the Giants trying to sweep the 3-game series. In the American League, rain in New York. Washington and the Yankees have a doubleheader scheduled at the Yankee Stadium. Chicago and Minnesota, a single game in Minneapolis. Pitch to Bill White is a curve inside. 1 ball and no strikes. They are playing a doubleheader in Cleveland. Steve Barber trying for his 9th win of the year. Dick Donovan, a 20-game winner a year ago, going for his 3rd. Birds won, Cleveland won at the end of 2.5 innings. Inside and low, it's ball 2, and the plate moving around a little bit on Galen Cisco. The Red Sox and Tigers will play 2 in Detroit. Kansas City and Los Angeles play a single game on the West Coast. Among the baseball items appearing in the sports pages today, Bo Belinsky has been optioned to Hawaii. Curve over, a call strike.
You know, that's sort of like being kicked upstairs, being sent to Hawaii. That's a pretty good summer's vacation, isn't it?
I'll tell you, when they send you over there to play ball, they ought to give you a raise and pay, Ralph.
I'll tell you one thing, that's quite a spot, and I don't know whether that island's big enough for Bo over there.
It's a real paradise. The mean temperature in Hawaii about 72 degrees the year round. Ground ball hit foul going down toward Joe Schultz, the first base coach. Did you play any service ball there during the war, Ralph?
No, I was stationed there at Kaneohe, but I never did play ball over there. I was in there at the wrong time of the year. I was in on the negotiations that the Coast League had with Honolulu about putting that Pacific Coast League franchise in Hawaii, and that was the last time that I was there, but it certainly is a beautiful place.
Well, time really moves along. 15 years ago, you would never have dreamt that Hawaii would be in professional ball with the United States, or perhaps even a member of the United States, but the jet travel really shortened everything up. Full count now, 3-2 on Bill White.
It's only a 5-hour trip over there by jet, so it's practically nothing.
No score, last half of the first. Let's keep an eye on Dick Grote now and see if Johnny Keane has him running. 3-2 to White. There he goes. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. Galen Cisco with 2 walks in a row now has to face Stan Musial. Ralph, the ball games that Galen has had real trouble in this year have been games where he's run into trouble by walking a couple of men in the first inning.
That's right. In Los Angeles' last outing, he walked 5 men, and 3 of them scored. And, of course, in a couple other games, it was walks that put men on for home runs that beat him in the first inning of 3 losses.
His first start this year was in Milwaukee. He walked 2, and then Gabrielson ripped the 3-run homer. And after that, he pitched extremely well. Pitch to Musial. Inside and low, it's ball 1. Game against the Giants in New York. He walked 2, and Willie Mays hit a 3-run homer in the first, and after that he pitched very well. An error, a walk, and a 3-run homer by Leo Cardinals cost him a game against Cincinnati. His last 2 starts, he has pitched his best ball of the year. He seems to be improving with each ball game. Pitch to Musial, way up high, it's ball 2, 2-0. Trying down to the bullpen now for lefty Don Rowe to start warming up. Surprising item in the sports pages today, Ralph, was the trading of Dick Hauser to Cleveland.
It wasn't but about 3 years ago that Hauser was considered the most valuable rookie in the American League. He had a tremendous season at shortstop for Kansas City, and he also stole somewhere around 35 bases, I believe, second to Aparicio.
He played so well that the A's named him captain of their team. He has now been traded for Doc Edwards, along with Jose Askew to Cleveland. Now Musial waiting. Cisco behind him, 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Stan, the man who has contributed mightily to the Cardinal cause in the early going. Stan leading the Redbirds in home runs with 7. He has driven 21 runs in. The all-time home run derby, of course, Babe Ruth, Old Double X, Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams, and then Mel Ott. Ground ball hit down toward first, foul ball. Ralph, if Stan can hang around and play at least one more year, and the way he's going, there's no reason why he shouldn't. He might very easily go over that 500 mark in home runs.
Well, he has 30 to make it, and last year he had a big year, and he's certainly off to a fine start this year with his 7 home runs. You know, usually a player, as he gets older, loses his home run power. He gets a little slower with his reflexes and ends up hitting the ball more to the opposite field. But Stan has held on to his.
Boy, he's built like a statue. He's really got the muscles. Now Galen up in pitching position. Holds the runners. Now the pitch. They hold up. Strike 3. A beauty of a curve that was over for a call, 3rd strike.
That's the second time the Musial has been called out on strikes, and you seldom see Stan called out on strikes. That was a fine curveball by Cisco, and it took Musial by complete surprise.
He really slowed up on that curve. He throws that fast-breaking curve and also a slow curve. And that time he went to the slow curve on 3-2, and it was a beauty. Now there are 2 away, and the hitter is the 3rd sacker, Ken Boyer. Boyer hitting at .319 with 5 homers and 33 runs batted in. A fly ball hit deep to right field by Boyer toward the screen. It's off the screen for a base hit. Schroeder's around third scoring. The ball comes into second base. White will hold at third. Double to right field off the screen by Kenny Boyer, driving a run in. Cardinals lead 1-0. Ralph, when Boyer has hurt the Mets with his bat, it seems to me that time and again it has been to right field.
Boyer has really hurt us to right field. He got a big base hit the other night to right field right off of a real good pitch outside. And right here, of course, pitch was away and he went to right field again. He seems to be improving all the time, hitting that way. And, of course, he'll be that much tougher to get out if he does hit the right field as well as he's showing us.
For Kenny Boyer, his 34th run batted in. Cardinals now have Kenny Boyer leading the club in RBIs with 34, and Bill White already has 31. As those two Redbirds go into contention to lead the National League in RBIs. Now the hitter is George Altman, first base open, runners on second and third, 2 down. Galen Cisco winding, here's the pitch. A drive hit hard in the air to right field, hurrying over Hickman, and he dives, and they call it a trap. They call it a trap. 2 runs are coming in to score. Pearsall is coming in to argue with Ed Sudol. The argument is on. Sudol is being charged by Jimmy Pearsall. The entire ball club of the New York Mets charging around first base umpire Ed Sudol. There is a difference of opinion here, I believe, Ralph. Al Foreman, umpiring at second, called him out. And Ed Sudol, the umpire at first base, called it a trap. I was watching the first base umpire, Ed Sudol. The ball was hit to right field. But also, Al Foreman, the second base umpire, called him out, and he is out. He is out. They call it a fair catch. And now we'll have the argument going the other way. Now the argument is really going to race the other way. Joe Schultz is talking now with Tom Gorman, Al Foreman, and Ed Sudol. Well, there was a difference of opinion. Jim Hickman made a sliding catch. He was on his knees, sliding across the grass, and made the catch just before the ball hit the ground. One umpire said it was a trap, one said he was out, and after the conference, they decided to rule in favor of the New York Mets. Well, right now, Johnny Keane is out there. Vern Benson and Joe Schultz, both coaches are there, and Bill White is there, and we have a real rhubarb growing here without benefit of any rain so far. So the side is out. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. At the end of 1 inning, with the argument still going down on the field, the score of the Cardinals 1, and the New York Mets nothing.
Well, Jimmy Pearsall finally got into his first argument. He really charged in from center field to help change the decision. He was right in there arguing about the original first decision, and so we've seen Jimmy now all the way around.
I'll tell you, Ralph, if he can win every argument like that, he's going to be a tremendous help to the New York Mets.
Well, I think the fans will like Jimmy Pearsall. He certainly is a wonderful, competitive ball player, and he has shown us in a short time that he's ready to play. And you'll get your first chance to see Jimmy and the Mets when they return home against the Chicago Cubs on Tuesday, a night game coming your way on May 28th. Then the Cubs play a Memorial Day doubleheader in the 30th. So along with Jimmy Pearsall, we'll have Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, Bob Buell, and the Cubs in for their first trip to the Polo Grounds.
Then Wednesday, an off day, and a big Memorial Day doubleheader on Thursday. We'll have a lot of action on this homestand that starts on Tuesday night, Ralph. Pittsburgh coming in for the first time next weekend for a Sunday doubleheader after a Friday night and Saturday afternoon game.
You know, one of the players that the Pirates have that I think will be really an exciting player is this Bob Bailey that plays third base for Pittsburgh. He's shown us an awful lot of power when we played against them in Pittsburgh. He had that real long single. Remember that one off the wall? He hit it so hard that Frank Thomas got to throw him out at second base, and he played the ball off the wall. It was hit that well.
Anybody that can hit with that kind of power and reach that wall in that big ballpark in Pittsburgh, well, you know they have to be strong.
That's got to be one of the longest singles ever hit. Even Ernie Lombardi never hit one that long and didn't make second base.
The way he hit in that series, Ralph, he looked to be as strong as the fellow they traded away, Dick Stewart.
That's right. They gave up a lot. And the Pirates will have almost a brand new ball club coming into the Polo Grounds when they come in after the Cubs.
Now Jim Hickman leads off for New York as we move to the top of the second. Kurt Simmons winding, and the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Jim has had a baffling time trying to curtail his strikeouts. Next pitch on the way, a drive hit hard down the left field line, and it is a fair ball. Base hit the left field corner for Jim Hickman. He'll go into second base standing up with a two-base hit. So Jim is off to another one of those Sunday afternoons.
Maybe he's going to be another Charlie Maxwell. He used to really hit well on Sundays, always hitting those home runs.
Sure looks like it, Ralph. He has had some banner Sundays in the early going of the season. Right here, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, 810 on your dial, where the time is 2:29 and the temperature is 61 degrees.
Bob Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson. Al Moran, the hitter now, against Kurt Simmons. Mets now have 2 hits off Kurt. They both have been doubles. Pitch to Moran. Ground ball hit hard down to third. Backhanded by Boyer. Here's the throw. He can't handle it. It's a low throw over into foul territory. Hickman races to third, turns and holds up there, and Moran winds up on second. Magnificent play by Kenny Boyer. He made a backhand play that was a real beauty. But then as he scrambled, got to his feet, and tried to throw Moran out, in trying to get a lot on the ball to make the play, he threw it low in the dirt. White was unable to come up with it. The ball goes over into foul territory. It'll be scored a base hit and an error on the throw by Kenny Boyer. That's a shame to have a play, as far as Boyer is concerned, wind up that way.
Actually, he stopped the 2-base hit and a run from scoring, but he still gets an error in the play.
Now Norm Sherry is the batter. Runners on second and third, nobody out. Cardinals 1 and the Mets nothing. We're in the top half of the second. The afternoon of baseball in St. Louis getting underway with a very fast and exciting start. Here's the pitch on the way. A drive in the air to center field. Flood hustling over is in front of it. Makes the catch. Here comes Hickman. Here comes the throw to the plate. It won't be in time. The run is in. Moving to third goes Al Moran, and the game is tied 1-1. Norm Sherry ties it up with a sacrifice fly. A line drive to left center field. That ties the game 1-1. Give Norm Sherry an RBI. He hit the ball well. Brings up Galen Cisco. Galen Cisco batting, and the Cardinals bring the infield in with 1 out and Al Moran on third. All 3 men up by New York have hit the ball hard off Simmons. Inside and low, it's ball 1. Galen has 1 hit. That was a double in 12 times up this year. Cardinals playing the infield in to choke off the run. The outfield rather shallow, and Flood playing toward right center against Galen Cisco. A high fly ball to right field, fairly deep. Moran tagged up, waiting. Catch made by Altman. Here comes Moran. Here comes the peg to the plate. The slide. He is safe at all. He's safe, and Tim McCarver is arguing that he was blacked off and did not touch the plate. Simmons not arguing at all on the play, but Tim McCarver is arguing heatedly with big Stan Landis, the plate umpire. Boy, that was a close play at the plate. McCarver was in a position to try and block the runner because he was also in the act of catching the throw. And on a very, very close play, Moran comes in to score. Mets lead the Cardinals 2-1. Give Galen Cisco an RBI on a sacrifice fly on the fly ball to right field. Ralph, if it goes like this all day, it's going to be a fun day in St. Louis.
Well, you said it, Bob. We've seen more action in 1.5 innings than you usually see in one ball game. It certainly has been exciting so far.
Now Jimmy Pearsall up. Jimmy has a double, and he won an argument already. A foul ball hit back upstairs and out of play. outfield fly when you need it, whether it can score or run, can be a big part of your attack. A smash hit hard, a base hit to right field for Pearsall, and Jimmy has 2 for 2. He hit a curveball and hit it right where it was pitched, placed it into right field for a clean hit. Over the years, Ralph, I've seen this fella hit the left-handers real well.
Well, he goes with them, and that's sort of a real good indication. He'll hit the ball to right field off a left-hander. Normally, a left-hander will have a ball break away from a right-hand batter, and it's tough to pull. Pearsall certainly knows a lot about hitting. He had a real fine teacher in Ted Williams.
Now Charlie Neal batting against Kurt Simmons. Let's lead 2-1. Pitch to Charlie, a base hit going to right field. Pearsall had to hold up to be out of the way of the base hit. Now we'll have to hold on at second base. Charlie Neal hitting the first pitch, and he hit it hard. A line drive into right field. Mets now have coned to Kurt Simmons for 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 sacrifice flies here in the second. Ron Hunt coming on to hit. Shows you the faith that Johnny Keane has in his veteran left-hander because no action going in the Cardinal bullpen. Veteran pitchers who have proved themselves over the years with hard-earned victories one after another. Oftentimes, they get by the first couple of innings, get much tougher as the game goes along. Ron Hunt drew a walk in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Foul ball off to the right. No play. That's headed toward the upper deck. Mets now have 2 runs, 5 hits off Kurt Simmons. 2-1 ball game. New York leading top of the second. The batter, in comes the pitch to him. A fly ball in the air to right field. It's carrying deep. Back goes Altman. He jumps, makes the catch. He had to jump and take that one right off of the wall. Ball well hit by Ron Hunt. He timed his leap just perfect to go up and make a one-hand grab against the wall. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on. At the end of an inning and a half, the score, the Mets 2 and the Cardinals 1. Coming up now, a tune I know you're going to like.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet, it's the dry flavored treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Join in and treat yourself to the clean, sparkling taste of New York's favorite beer, Rheingold Extra Dry. Rheingold has a flavor all its own because it's brewed of only the choicest ingredients. Brewed the long, slow, costlier way for flavor that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. It's beer as beer should taste.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet, it's the dry flavored treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer? Now St. Louis will have Julian Javier leading off against Galen Cisco in the last half of the second. Cardinals scored 1 run on 2 hits off Cisco in the opening inning. Now Galen cranks up, and the pitch to Javier. Poured run in there, strike 1 called. Breeze blowing from right across toward left. Each day of the series here in St. Louis, the skies have been a heavy gray overcast. The pitch on the way. Ground ball hit hard to short. Scooped up by Al Moran. Here's the peg. 1 away. Now the catcher, Tim McCarver, comes on the bat. McCarver hitting at .281 on 9 for 32. We've had 2 arguments already. The game only in the last half of the second.
Tim McCarver, a left-hand hitter. Cardinals have Gene Oliver, Carl Sawatsky, and Tim McCarver to handle their catching duties. Now the windup and the pitch thrown. Lined hard to right field. Jim Hickman racing over, plays it on a hop. And McCarver is on with a hard hit single to right field. One away and one on now in the last half of the second. Kurt Simmons coming up to hit. I guess the game today on the West Coast will have Don Drysdale going for the Dodgers and Jack Sanford for the Giants. That ought to be quite a battle. Kurt Simmons, left-hand batter up, hits a foul ball off to the left, no play.
Well, the Giants are certainly doing the one thing that they'll have to do to win the pennant. They're beating their contenders. They've won 5 straight from the Dodgers, and that's like winning 10 games from someone else. They beat the Dodgers 3 in a row down in L.A., and now they've picked up 2 others.
No, the Dodgers swept the series to L.A., Ralph.
What did I say?
You said it the other way around.
Oh, the other. Well, I meant up here they won 2 straight against them.
That's right, yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's funny, those 2 clubs have been able to beat the other one in their own ballpark, but they haven't been able to do anything on the road. Those Giants last year were almost unbeatable in their own ballpark. They won 61 games at Candlestick Park. You won that many at home in the course of a year. It doesn't take too many more to win a pennant. The 1-1 delivery bounced over the mound. In comes Moran. He flips the ball back to Hunt. 1 on to first, not in time. Once again, Ron Hunt cartwheeled in the air on a close play at second base, but he still fired the ball accurately. On to Eddie Cranepool trying for 2. 2 outs and Kurt Simmons on first base.
You can certainly see why Hunt was offered a scholarship to play football in college, because he doesn't back away from contact at all. He stays right in there, and he has really taken some rough knocks and gotten up every time.
We've seen bigger men go into second base against Ron Hunt, and the bigger fellow bounce away. Now the hitter is Kurt Flood. He singled to right his first time up. Pitch is low. It's ball 1. He is having quite a series. He has 7 hits and 11 times up. Now Galen Cisco looking into Norm Sherry for his sign. That's 2 of the Cardinals' 1 last half of the second. Here's the pitch on the way. A ground ball hit hard to short. Moran up with it. Takes to Hunt. They have the force play on Simmons to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of 2 innings to score, the Mets 2 and the Cardinals 1. Say, May is National Tavern Month, and a especially good time to visit your friendly neighborhood tavern and enjoy a glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Right now, we go along to the 3rd inning. New York coming up against veteran Kurt Simmons. And another veteran, a fellow who not only hit against Kurt Simmons, but can equally well describe the action from the broadcasting booth, Ralph Kiner.
Tell you one thing, Bob, I'd rather take him from right up here. He was awfully tough on that mound. Hi there, everybody. We're in the top of the 3rd, and the first pitch to Cliff Cook by the left-hander is outside for ball 1. With Kurt Simmons and Robin Roberts at their best, there was no picnic to play against the Philadelphia Phillies back in their heyday. Now the 1-0 pitch, and Cook pops it up in the infield, calling to Dick Grote at shortstop. He waits, and he makes the catch. That was a real high pop-up. We had to wait a long time for that one to come down, and of course the players saying that a ball hit that high might make it rain, and it certainly does look like rain right here at St. Louis, but the overcast sky so far not giving out at all. Cook out for the second time in the game. Simmons with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. The score 2-1 in favor of the Mets, and the batter is Ed Cranepool. Ed struck out swinging his first time up. Confused on roll, but the pitch just caught the inside corner. So it's a full count. We'll see the runners going on the windup. Rowe does not wind up. He stretches, looks, and comes to the plate, and he picks up strike 3 call right in the outside corner to retire the side. Well, Don went all the way. He went to 3-0 with the bases loaded. Then he came in with 3 straight strikes to pick up a strikeout and keep the ball game tied at 3-3. In the inning for the Cardinals, 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 3 men were left on base. And the score at the end of 3 innings of play, the New York Mets 3, the St. Louis Cardinals 3. Here we go now. The top of the 4th is going to be Don Rowe, and the first pitch by Curt Simmons is fouled away for strike 1. Rowe has 1 hit and 5 times up. Tickets for all the Met games available at 3 convenient locations. 1 strike pitch, a strike called. Rowe started to swing, tried to hold up. The ball is on the outside corner, so it's strike 2. Tickets available at Pennsylvania Station, Grand Central Station, and out at the Polo Grounds. And a swing and a miss sees Curt Simmons pick up his 4th strikeout of the ball game. 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning, and Jimmy Pearsall comes up. Jimmy has doubled and singled off Curt Simmons. He has raised his batting average to 300. He has a total of 3 hits in 10 times to the plate now as a New York Met. Jimmy was batting .245 for the Washington Senators this year. And Pearsall takes inside, ball 1. Pearsall hit 2 outside pitches to right field for his base hits. Here the first pitch to him was in tight, so Curt Simmons trying to work him inside now. 1-0 pitch. There's a base hit to left field off by Boyer, so Pearsall now 3 for 3. He rounds and holds as Musial throws the ball in. That ball well hit. Boyer made a dive for it. He couldn't get to it. The Mets now have the go-ahead run at first base with 1 out, and the batter will be Charlie Neal, who has 1 hit and 2 times up. Here's the first pitch, a base hit to right center. Pearsall hesitates, now moves to second. He's going to try for third. The long throw is cut off by Dick Groat, and Charlie Neal holds at first base. So 2 hits now in a row with 1 out for the New York Mets. Runners at first and third, and the batter coming up will be Ron Hunt. Well, we've seen a total of 14 base hits now in 3 1/3 innings, and now we see some action stirring in the bullpen for the St. Louis Cardinals. Who was robbed of an extra base hit his last time up when George Altman went back to the wall, jumped as high as he could go to take away a surefire extra base hit, and also a run batted in. Here's the first pitch, a bunt toward first. The play is booted by Bill White. Scoring from third base with a go-ahead run is Jimmy Pearsall. Moving on down to second, Charlie Neal. That was a bunt for a base hit. It was actually sort of a safety squeeze play, and it scored a base hit. Bill White came in, tried to make the play in a hurry. He was looking at the runner coming in from third base while he was trying to field the ball, and he never did quite get possession of the ball. So a base hit for Ron Hunt, and the Mets now lead by a score of 4-3. The batter's Cliff Cook. 1 out with runners at first and second, and now Ed Bauta warming up in the bullpen for the St. Louis Cardinals. Bauta, a right-hander. He came in the ball game yesterday to help hold the New York Mets. And there's a fly ball to right field by Cook. Allman in shallow right makes the catch one-handed. Charlie Neal tagged up at second base, holds there as the throw comes across. Second base umpire Al Foreman almost got hit by the ball as it traveled on across the infield, and it was cut off by Dick Groat. So the Cardinals have picked up their second out here in the top of the 4th. The Mets have taken the lead 4-3 here with 1 run in. The batter will be Ed Kranepool. And a left-hand batter has struck out twice against Kern Simmons, and there's the first pitch. It's on the outside corner, called strike 1. Pitch back to Kranepool, a swing and a miss for strike 2. So Simmons working real tough to Ed Kranepool. we mentioned earlier, Simmons is really tough on a left-hand batter, especially if you haven't seen him at all. 2-strike count. Simmons with the sign, now sets. Runners at first and second. Here's the pitch back to Ed. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Simmons striking out Krahenbuhl for the 3rd time, and that is his 5th strikeout to retire the side. In the inning, though, the Mets take the lead by scoring 1 run on 3 hits. There were no errors. 2 men were left on, and the score at the end of 3.5 innings of play. The New York Mets 4, the St. Louis Cardinals 3. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
I run this dude ranch away out west, and when it comes to horses, we sure own the best. Now, one of our guests was a gal from the east. Say she was something, was to say the least. One day we were out on the trail, and I said, "Have a cigarette, man," and she shook her head.
No, thanks. I can't stand the unfiltered kind. And even some filters are too strong, I find.
She said, "Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Well, listen, partner, I've changed my brand, and that gal is my wife and owns half of my land.
That's right.
So now I know, and I'll take all bets. If you smoke all 7 filter cigarettes, you'll find some too strong,
Some too light.
but Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
It's Kurt Flood, and the first pitch to Flood by Don Rowe is low for ball 1. Don has pitched to 1 man so far in this game. He came in the game in relief of Galen Cisco, and he struck out Kurt Simmons. And the left-hander now back to Flood, a right-hand batter, and he's high for ball 2. In striking out Simmons with the bases loaded, Rowe was 3-0 on him, then came in with 3 straight fastballs to get him looking. Now he's 2-0 to Kurt Flood in the pitch back. There's a bouncy ball slowly to second. They're going to have to hurry. Hunt comes in. He picks it up. Fires the first just in time. Boy, that Flood can motor down that line, and you really have to hurry at anything that's hit slowly. And that ball was a slow bouncy ball down to second. But Ron Hunt turned it into the first out here in the bottom half of the 4th. And with the Mets leading by 1 run, the batter will be Dick Groat. Dick has walked and grounded out. He has scored 1 of the 3 runs scored by the St. Louis Cardinals. Dick batting .341. Bob Murphy told you he's got a chance this year at his current pace to pick up about 220 base hits. Here's the first pitch to the right-hand batter outside for ball 1. Dick has a total of 62 hits so far this year. He never has driven out 200 hits in one season. Last year was his highest total. He had 199. Here's the pitch back at strike 1. The year that Dick led the league in batting, that was 1960 when the Pirates won the pennant. He batted .325, and he missed a chance to get 200 hits when he broke his arm the latter part of the season. Now the 1-1 pitch to Groat, and there's a hard ground ball at short. Moran up with it. He goes across in time for out number 2. Moran had time to get down on 1 knee to catch that ball. It was hit that hard. He took his time coming up to throw and got his man easily. Groat is not a fast man in spite of the fact that he plays short. He's very quick, but in the straightaway race, he's not regarded as fast at all. 2 men out now for Don Rowe. The score 4-3 in favor of the New York Mets. The batter is Bill White. Well, right now, light up a Viceroy. Find out what we mean when we say Viceroy's got the taste that's right. First pitch to Bill White down in the left field territory, and the ball drops in foul. Charlie Neal going over by the fence there, and the ball dropped into fair territory on the playing field, but Charlie couldn't quite get to it. Neal a little bit worried about where the fence was, and it slowed up his progress to the ball. So it's a 1-strike count on the left-hand batter, Bill White. Bill has a single and a walk in this game, a run scored. Batting .311, and the pitch back is a high, tight fastball, fouled straight back for strike 2. strike count now as Roll with the pitch back to Bill White. And there's a ground ball to the second baseman, a one-hopper by Ron Hunt. He picks it up, throws to first, not in time. Cranepool broke for the ball, and then in trying to get back to the bag, he couldn't quite find it. Hunt, who fielded the ball in deep second base, and when I say deep, he was at least 15 to 20 feet on the grass into shallow right field when he came up with the ball. He threw to first, but not in time, and White beat it out for a base hit. White is very fast, and you really have to work with him. You can't take any extra chances. So that'll bring up Stan Musial. White on at first base, not being held on, and the tying run now for the Cardinals is out at first. Stan has one hit and 2 times up, batting .245. First base hit off Don Roll, and now they're calling Cranepool in to hold Bill White on at first. You can't give White any extra lead there because he can fly. So it gives Stan a chance to hit through the hole with a man on at first base, and he swings and misses the first pitch for strike 1. A curveball that Stan was fooled on. No balls and 1 strike. Cardinals now with 7 base hits for their 3 runs. The Mets have 10 base hits to go with their 4 runs. 17 base hits, and we haven't even played through 4 innings. Here's the pitch by Rowe to Musial. A called strike 2, a curveball breaking on the inside corner. Stan batting against Galen Cisco was called out on strikes his first time up on a 3-2 curve. Now at 2 strikes, the pitch to Musial is low, and it's ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stan has 7 home runs to lead the Cardinals in that department, 470 in his career. Now throw to first base to move White back to the bag. Sort of keep him on his throw. White with not too much of a lead. The pitch to Musial hit hard on the ground at Cranepool. He takes it on 1 hop, turns and touches the bag for the final out in the 4th inning. For the Cardinals, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, and the score now through 4. The New York Mets 4, the St. Louis Cardinals 3, and now here's Bob Murphy with the scores.
All right, Ralph, before we post the scores, let's take time to pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, where you can hear all the games of the New York Mets. For baseball, for the best in music, for comprehensive, reliable news reporting, stay tuned to WGY.
It opens the homestand on Tuesday night in the Polo Grounds for the New York Mets. The Cubs lead Houston 2-0 after 4.5. Dick Drott dueling against Bob Buell. Pittsburgh 0, Milwaukee 0. Don Swall on the mound against Lou Burdett. Phillies 4, Cincinnati 2 at the end of 4.5. They're playing 2. Chris Short against Jim Maloney. Later today, the Dodgers and Giants at Candlestick Park. At the end of 4 innings at Yankee Stadium on a home run by Ellie Howard, the Yankees lead Washington 1-0. Don Rudolph against Jim Bouton. White Sox 1, Minnesota 1 at the end of 3.5. Bizarre against Perry. Versali's homered in the 2nd, nobody on. Jim Gentile homered in the 6th, nobody on. It's now Cleveland 6. Baltimore 4 at the end of 6. Donovan pitching for Cleveland. Barber, Hall, and Stock for the Orioles. At Detroit, home runs by Al Kaline and Dick McCullough. Detroit get a 5-run third to lead Boston 6-0 into 3. Now Jim Heckman leading off on the pitch by Simmons over for a call strike. Real good game for Jim Heckman so far. Jim has been up twice and doubled twice. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike on Jim Heckman leading off in the 5th inning. New York in front 4-3. Fastball at the letters for a call strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Simmons out of his windup delivers. Foul ball hit high in the air down the right field line. This will land on the upper deck out of play. Mets have 10 hits off Kurt Simmons, more than they have collected in their last 3 games combined. Now the pitch thrown. This is the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. New York 4, St. Louis 3. Pitching 2-2. Strike 3 called. A slow curve that is over. And Hickman is caught looking. Strikeout number 6 for Kurt Simmons. Al Moran, hitting 7th in the order, has 2 for 2. Al had an infield hit to third. Actually, it was a hot smash. Boyer made a great play to backhand the ball and then scrambled to his feet and threw. He threw the ball low and away, and Moran wound up on second. It was scored as a base hit and an error on Kenny Boyer. Outside and high on a let-up by Kurt Simmons. Moran's second time up, he knocked a run in with a Texas League single down the right field line, scoring Jim Hickman. Norm Sherry, Galen Cisco, Al Moran, and Ron Hunt have each knocked in a run. A squibbler hit out in front of the plate, pouncing on it, Tim McCarver. He pegs to Bill White in time, and Moran is out. 2 outs and nobody on. Now in the top of the 5th inning, that will bring up Norm Sherry. Norm drove in the first run of the ball game with a sacrifice fly. It was a line drive hit to left center field that was caught by Curt Flood. He was robbed of a hit his second time up on a real good play in the field by Julian Javier. So Norm is 0 for 1 with the run batted in. Now Simmons over the head. In comes his pitch. And the ball has popped up, a foul ball over toward the dugout. Kenny Boyer has room. He's in foul ground. Boyer takes it, and the side is out. Let's go down in order for the first time in the top of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. We've come halfway at the end of 4.5 innings to score. The New York Mets 4 and the St. Louis Cardinals 3. Well, you know, on my way up to the broadcasting booth, I've been noticing more and more fans with Viceroy's new slide top case. It's really great. Crush-proof like a box, but it works far easier. It slides right open, slides shut tight. One finger does it. You know, it's the greatest improvement in cigarette packaging since the flip-open box. And it's exclusive with Viceroy. And only Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Now, what do I mean by the taste that's right? Well, if you smoke all 7 leading filter brands, you'll find some taste too strong. Like the filter wasn't there at all. Others taste too light. They take all the fun and flavor out of smoking. But Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Then smoke Viceroy in the exclusive slide top case or the familiar soft pack. You'll like them. Now Kenny Boyer up against Don Rowe in the last half of the 5th inning. Boyer 2 for 2. And the pitch over at the knees for a called strike. It's been an outstanding series for Kenny Boyer. He now has 7 hits in 10 times at bat. He has driven 5 runs in the 3 games. A line drive to left center field toward the alley, a base hit. Running the ball down, it gets by Cook. Pearsall backs it up. Here's the peg coming in the slide. He's saved. Ball got by Cliff Cook in left center field. Pearsall backing him up. Flip the ball in, and we'll wait for the official scoring. That gives Kenny Boyer 3 for 3 in this game. 8 hits and 11 times at bat in the series, and it'll be scored as a double. Now the Redbirds have the tying run on second, nobody out. The hitter is George Altman. Altman has lined to right. Hickman made a spectacular grab. He drew a walk in the 3rd inning. Pitch by Don Rowe. He bunts the ball foul off to the left. He tried to conceal his intentions and bunt down the 3rd baseline for a base hit. Big George hitting a .265 on the year. edge of the grass at third. The outfield swung around toward right. Pitch by Don Rowe. Fly ball high in the air to right center field. Jim Hickman is under it waiting. Makes the catch. Boyer will not try and go to third. The peg comes in from Jim Hickman's strong arm. 1 man away. One away now in the last half of the fifth inning, and on to hit will be Julian Javier. Javier has grounded out short to first and hit a line drive that Al Moran caught. So Javier is 0 for 2, batting at .276. 1 out and 1 on. Boyer on second base. The pitch to Javier. Inside and low, it's ball 1. Yankees 1, Washington nothing after 4.5. White Sox and Twins tied 1-1 into 4. Baltimore got 3 in the 7th inning. They now lead Cleveland 7-6 at the end of 6.5. Tigers 6 and the Red Sox nothing at the end of 3.5. Javier, right-hand batter, takes a fastball over for a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jimmy Pearsall of the Mets and Ken Boyer of the Cardinals are both 3 for 3 in this game. Now Don Rowe checks the runner. In comes his pitch. Ground ball hit hard, smothered by Charlie Neal. He gets up and pegs in time for the out. Real sparkler turned by Charlie Neal, diving to his glove side to take a hot ground ball. Now Tim McCarver is being called back to the dugout, and we may have Gene Oliver up to hit for him. Beautiful play by Charlie Neal to take a base hit away from Julian Javier. And now Gene Oliver is coming on to hit for Tim McCarver. McCarver, a left-hand hitter, started against Galen Cisco. Casey then came in with relief pitcher Don Rowe, a southpaw pitcher. And so now Oliver, a right-hand batter, comes up to hit for McCarver. Oliver had 3 for 3 and knocked 3 runs in the opening game of the series. Now Kenny Boyer on second base, and the hitter is Gene Oliver. He won the final road game for St. Louis just before they came home for this series when he homered off Dick Ellsworth to give Ernie Broglio a 1-0 victory. Now Don Rowe up in pitching position. Delivers, swing, and a miss, strike 1. Last half of inning number 5, the New York Mets 4 and the St. Louis Cardinals 3. Don Rowe relieved Galen Cisco with 2 men down in the 3rd inning. Now Rowe picks up his sign from Norm Sherry as Boyer leads off second. Ground foul. That ball hit him in the leg, and the count now, strike 2. New York 4 runs on 10 hits. St. Louis 3 runs on 8 hits. 18 base hits the game in the last half of the 5th inning. Mets in their 3 previous games had a combined total of 9 hits. They have 10 and 5 innings in this one. Now the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Oliver goes down swinging, and Boyer is left stranded on second. He led off with a double. Good pitching job turned in by Don Rowe. Backed up on a fine fielding play by Charlie Neal. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. 5 innings complete now, and the score, the New York Mets 4 and the St. Louis Cardinals 3.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Chug-a-mug is a new way to buy beer. Better get some today. Chug-a-mug's what you say. What a great way to drink Rheingold beer.
Chug-a-mug. That's the name for Rheingold's new wide-mouth container with a top that's so easy to open. Just pull the tab on top of the Chug-a-mug straight out, then straight on. Pull it on, and drink right from the Chug-a-mug's wide mouth. No openers, no glasses, no deposits. No fooling. Chug-a-mug holds the same amount of delicious Rheingold Extra Dry as the 12-ounce can. Cost the same, too, at your dealers now.
My dry beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Chug-a-mug is the new way to buy beer. Better get some today.
Chug-a-mug's what you say.
What a great way to drink Rheingold beer.
Now St. Louis will have Gene Oliver catching Kurt Simmons as we move to the top of the sixth inning. Don Rowe will be out to lead off for New York. Simmons seems to be settling to his task now after being raked for 10 hits over 3 and 2/3 innings. He has now retired 5 in a row. Pitch is over, a call strike on the outside corner. Norm Sherry, Galen Cisco, Al Moran, and Ron Hunt have each driven in a run for the Mets. Breaking ball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. For St. Louis, Kenny Boyer drove 2 runs in, and the 3rd run came in on a balk called on Cisco. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 1-2. Real old-fashioned style balk that was called on Galen. He simply started into a windup and for some reason suddenly stopped. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kurt Simmons strikes out Don Rowe leading off. That's his 7th of the game. Now Jimmy Pearsall comes up to hit at the top of the batting order, and Jimmy will be trying to make it 4 for 4. He doubled a right in the first, he singled a right in the second, and he singled a left in the 4th inning. So Jim is 3 for 3. The Wiz from Waterbury, Connecticut. Here's the pitch on the way. Bluffs it a bunt, and the pitch is over, a call strike. The last 10 years, Jim has made his home in Newtonville, a suburb of Boston, Massachusetts. But when school is out this year, he's moving to Hyannisport. Way inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. In addition to getting 3 for 3, Pearsall also won an argument for the New York Mets in the 1st inning on a diving, sliding catch made by Jim Hickman to rob Altman of an extra base hit with men on base. Here's the 1-1 delivery. A ground ball on the right side of the diamond. Javier is up with it. He pegs on to Bill White, 2 men down. Well, Kurt Simmons is getting tougher. He has now retired 7 straight hitters. Charlie Neal coming up. Charlie has 2 for 3. Single to right and single to right center. Ground ball bounced towards shortstop. Taken on a hop by Dick Grody. Pegs to White, and the side is out. Second straight inning that Kurt Simmons retires the side in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. And now at the end of 5.5 innings to score, the Mets 4 and the Cardinals 3. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Yes, sir, that's the song that stops on the hit parade in New York again this year. Seems like it always is. Just like Rheingold is always New York's favorite beer year after year after year. Why? Because people like a dry beer best. Dry beer is naturally more refreshing. And Rheingold is the extra dry beer. Extra dry for the extra refreshment. The bright, clean taste that people want in a glass of beer, and they get every time that they order Rheingold. So why don't you give Rheingold a try? Order up or pour yourself a refreshing glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Chances are you'll join the millions of people who sing out for Rheingold and say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. It's beer as beer should taste. Now the Redbirds have Kurt Simmons leading off against Don Rowe, left-hander against left-hander in the last half of the 6th inning. Kurt is 0 for 2. First pitch is over, knee high on the outside corner, a call strike. Kurt reached on a force play, and he took a call, 3rd strike. Ground ball hit past the mound. Hunt, a backhand play to make. Throws to first. wave. He beat it. Ron Hunt had to go far to his right, try to make a backhand play. He knocked the ball down with his glove, then picked it up and threw on to first base. We'll wait for the scoring. Hunt had a tough play to make. And the Cardinals have the tying run on in the form of their leadoff batter, Curt Simmons. Now Curt Flood will talk with Vern Benson, the third base coach. It will go as a base hit. That's base hit number 9 for St. Louis. We have a total of 19 in the game. The Mets own 10. Speedy Curt Flood is the batter. He's around the bunt, doesn't offer. It's too high. 1 ball and no strikes. Cardinal crowd coming alive now. Mets with a tough defensive situation on their hands. Nobody out. Simmons on first. He's around the bunt, bunts, and it's a foul ball. Foul ball off to the left down the third baseline. 1 ball, 1 strike on Curt Flood. Flood hitting at .269. He is 7 for 10, 7 for 13, beg your pardon, in the series. Let's look for the bunt. 1 ball, 1 strike on Curt Flood. Dick Grote on deck and then Bill White. Score, Mets 4 and the Cardinals 3, bottom half of the 6th inning. First game of a doubleheader. Now Don Rowe up in pitching position. Delivers outside. He was around the bunt, but let it go when he saw it was going to be way outside. And the count 2-1. 3-0 close play at first base as Simmons beat out the infield hit. Ground ball that went over the side of the mound, and Hunt tracked it down over towards second. Now throw to first, not in time. Don Rowe in relief against the Cardinals for the second time this year. Now he's pitched. He doesn't offer at it. He pulled the bat back. He was around the bunt, then pulled it back at the last moment, and the count is 3-1. Starts to warm up again. 3-1 delivery. Ground ball hit to Charlie Neal. Neal to Hunt. They've got one on to first. Double play. The New York Mets turn the double play, their 44th of the year, coming in their 44th ball game. And that's a big double play. Johnny Keane took off the bunt. On 3-1, he let Flood hit away. He hit the ball down to Charlie Neal, and Charlie starts the twin killing. Outs and nobody on. The batter now is Dick Grote. Dick has drawn a walk and scored a run, officially 0 for 2. Twice he has been thrown out by Al Moran. Now Rowe has his sign. In comes his pitch. Inside and low, it's ball 1. You know, May is National Tavern Month, and especially good time to visit your friendly neighborhood tavern and enjoy a glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Over the outside corner, a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mickey Mantle has homered, his 10th of the year in the last half of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. Yankees now lead Washington 2-1, batting in the last half of the 6th inning. Ball 2, count 2-1 now on Dick Grote. Ground ball hit hard off the glove of Neal over into foul territory. It's a base hit. Grote takes the turn, and he is on with a single. A hard hit grounder. Charlie tried to make the backhand play, whirling to the line. Now, while we're waiting for Bill White to hit, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, 810 on your dial, where the time is 4 o'clock and the temperature is 64 degrees.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner from St. Louis. And in St. Louis right now, it's umbrella time. Light rain starting to fall, and the umbrellas are popping open. Bill White, the hitter, he has a perfect day going, has drawn a walk and singled twice. Pitch by Rowe. Foul ball. He barely got a piece of that one. Mets 4 and the Cardinals 3. We're in the last half of the 6th inning. Bill White, hard-hitting Cardinal first baseman, batting at .315. Inside and high, that straightened him up. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Rowe off the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. And he pops it foul. Looking for a play is Norm Sherry. He hurries back near the field boxes. It's out of reach. Tell you the way the weather has been this weekend in St. Louis, if you had your heart set on a picnic, you'd be frustrated by now. One ball and 2 strikes on Bill White. Tying run, Dick Grote on first base, 2 outs last of the 6th inning. In comes the pitch. Foul ball off the end of the bat down the third baseline. It's threatened to rain over the entire weekend. So far, it hasn't rained enough to spoil the laundry. 1-2, the count remains on Bill White. Pitching. Long drive, hit deep to right field. That's headed toward the screen. It's off the screen. Hickman grabbing it. Grote is on his way to third. He'll be held to a single. Runners on first and third. He hit the ball so hard that he's held to a single. Grote goes from first to third, and Musial comes on to hit. Bill White getting his 3rd base hit. A screaming line drive off the screen in right field. When that ball hits the screen in right field, it drops right straight down. So the outfielder has to hurry to the wall as fast as possible. Cardinals now have 5 hits off Don Rowe in relief, and they have a total of 11 in the game. Runners at the corners now. Runners on first and third. 2 men down. Musial hitting. New York in front 4-3. Stan has 1 for 3, a single in the 3rd inning. Now Rowe with his work cut out for him, looking in for his sign, but Arth warming in the bullpen. Here's the pitch. Low, it's ball 1 to Stan the man. The outfield shades toward right. Here's the pitch on the way. That's over for a call strike. Now the pitch thrown. Outside and low, 2 balls and a strike. How things go, Jimmy Pearsall, renowned as a tremendous defensive ball player, has yet to get a put out in the outfield. Now the 2-1 pitch. Inside it's ball 3, 3-1. He got an assist on an out at the plate, but has yet to handle a ball in the air. This is his 3rd ball game for the New York Mets. Now Rowe with a 3-1 count on Musial. Down comes the pitch. A drive loop towards short center field. Pearsall running hard. Makes a running one-hand catch. And the side is out. Jimmy Pearsall getting his first chance, and it was a big one. Runners on first and third, 2 men down. A looping drive to shallow left center field. And Pearsall running at full speed at the last possible moment. made a running one-hand grab to take a hit away from Stan the Man and retire the side. In the sixth inning, no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. Now 6 innings complete, and the score, the New York Mets 4 and the St. Louis Cardinals 3. So we'll be going along to the 7th inning of an exciting ball game, and all set to follow the excitement for you for a man who it is now B+1, birthday +1, Lindsey Nelson. Thank you very much, Bob Murphy. In the background, the organ here in St. Louis is playing Meet the Mets. Undoubtedly, you've heard that new official song of the Mets if you've been listening to our broadcast or watching the telecast or if you've been at the Polo Grounds. And now there is a 45 RPM recording of Meet the Mets available. It has a vocal on one side, an instrumental version on the other. To obtain your copy of the record, Meet the Mets, send $1 to Met Official Song, Polo Grounds, New York, 39, New York. We're going now to the top half of the 7th inning, and second baseman Ron Hunt is up to lead off for the Mets. He's a right-hand batter. Hunt is 1 for 2 in a walk today. Pushed a bunt down the right side in the top of the 4th. That was overrun by White and scored as a base hit. Here is a pitch in there for a call, strike 1. Kurt Simmons started. He's been in there all the way for the St. Louis Cardinals. He has a record of 6 victories and only 1 loss this season. So far, the Mets have 10 hits off Simmons. Cards have 11 hits today. Here's a pitch swung on, belted into left field for the Mets' 11th base hit of the day. Musial up with it, relays it in. A solid smash to left for Hunt and his second hit of the day. And that will bring up Cliff Cook, batting cleanup. He struck out swinging, popped to short, and flied to right. The Mets are leading in this game by a score of 4-3. Ron Hunt on at first. Here's the pitch to Cliff Cook, and it's in there for a called strike. Kenny Boyer took a couple of steps in there in anticipation of the possibility of a bunt attempt. Ed Bauda is up and throwing in the bullpen again for the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's a pitch, and he does bunt this time down the first base line. Bill White will have to play it to Javier covering. He does in time. The sacrifice successfully executed by Cliff Cook has moved Ron Hunt to second base. One man out, and first baseman Ed Kranepool is coming up. Ranul has been up 3 times, and Simmons has struck him out swinging all 3 times. Larry Bernard continues to throw in the bullpen for the Mets. The New Yorkers with a runner in scoring position now and 1 man out. Ranul settles himself in the batter's box with that wide stance of his, has the bat cocked as Simmons kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on and missed. It's strike 1. 18-year-old Ed Kranepool facing one of the craftiest left-handers in the trade, 34-year-old Kurt Simmons today. Simmons checks, steps off the rubber. That tightens up Ron Hunt at second. Now takes his lead again. Simmons kicks and fires, and the pitch, the fastball in there for a called strike. 2-strike count now to Ed Kranepool. The lights are on here in St. Louis. This is the first game of a scheduled doubleheader. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a call, strike 3. Threw it by him. And Kranepool is out on strikes for the 4th consecutive time. That is strikeout number 8 for Kurt Simmons. 2 men out. Hunt holds at second, and Jim Hickman's coming up. Hickman doubled his first time up, doubled his second time up, and was called out on strikes his 3rd time up. And he's going to be put on here. He's being intentionally walked. It's ball 1. First base open, and Hickman is being intentionally passed. It's ball 2. Al Moran is on deck. The Mets have a 1-run lead. They lead here by a score of 4-3. That is ball 3 to Jim Hickman. And ball
4. So Hickman has been intentionally walked. That is the second walk issued by Kurt Simmons. The first intentional pass. And right-hand batter Al Moran is coming up. He's 2 for 3 today. Had a smash to third. In the top of the second, Boya knocked it down, picked it up, threw on the first, threw it away. And it was scored as a base hit, and then he blooped one down the right field line for a base hit that drove in a run in the top of the third. And Simmons kicks and fires, and the pitch to fastball in there for a called strike. 2-strike count now to Ed Kranepool. The lights are on here in St. Louis. This is the first game of a scheduled doubleheader. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a call, strike 3. 2 behind. And Kranepool is out on strikes for the 4th consecutive time. That is strikeout number 8 for Kurt Simmons. Two men out. Hunt holds at second, and Jim Hickman's coming up. Hickman doubled his first time up, doubled his second time up, and was called out on strikes his third time up. And he's going to be put on here. He's being intentionally walked. It's ball 1. First base open, and Hickman is being intentionally passed. It's ball 2. Al Moran is on deck. The Mets have a 1-run lead. They lead here by a score of 4-3. That is ball 3 to Jim Hickman. And ball 4. So Hickman has been intentionally walked. That is the second walk issued by Kurt Simmons. The first intentional pass. And right-hand batter Al Moran is coming up. He's 2 for 3 today. Had a smash to third. In the top of the second, Boya knocked it down, picked it up, threw on the first, threw it away. And it was scored as a base hit, and then he blooped one down the right field line for a base hit that drove in a run in the top of the third. Runners leading at first and second. With 2 men out here, Kurt Simmons kicks and deals. Outside and low for ball 1. Gene Oliver doing the catching now for the St. Louis Cardinals. Wind blowing across toward right. Simmons is ready, and the pitch is swung on line down the right field line. A foul ball going on down into the Mets bullpen. With 2 men out, of course, Hunt and Hickman were going. It's 1-1. The hits are all even at 11 each right now. Simmons with the pitch, and it's fired outside, just off the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Moran standing outside the batter's box, moves back in. Kurt Simmons looks into Gene Oliver to get his sign. Has it now, he's set, and here's the pitch. Swung on, and it's a fly ball deep to right. Altman is going back, on back, and he one-hands it up against the wall in right field to retire the side. Moran driving it deep to right in the top of the 7th. The Mets got no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. And at the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's the Mets 4, the Cards 3. Well, 7th inning stretch again. Folks here getting up to stretch, and wonder what the folks are doing back in New York, Ralph.
Well, Lindsay, that's very easy. I bet a good many of them are stretching out for glasses of Rheingold Extra Dry.
Oh, that's true enough. It comes to 7th inning, or any inning for that matter. More fans stretch out for Rheingold than for any other beer.
Well, sure. You know, Rheingold is New York's favorite beer.
Well, it is, and it's easy to see why. In fact, dry tells you why. Yes, sir. Extra dry tells you why Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean, clear through. Rheingold is brewed of the choicest ingredients, brewed the long, slow, costly way, and that's what makes Rheingold Extra Dry such a wonderful beer. Wonderful because it's so much more refreshing. More refreshing because it's extra dry. Right, Ralph?
That's right, Lindsay. And folks, why don't you join us and enjoy a fine cold glass of Rheingold along with our Diamond Dewey. Join the millions who say, My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer.
Well, the Mets are bringing on another pitcher here. Larry Bernard is coming on, a young right-hander. He has a record of 1 victory and no losses. He's been in 8 games. He's pitched 18 and 2/3 innings in which he has allowed only 3 earned runs. On 15 hits, he has walked 6 and struck out 7. An alumnus of St. John's. In his first year in the major leagues, his second year in organized baseball. Will be facing Ken Boyer, who is 3 for 3 today. Boyer's been on a hot streak today. He has 2 doubles and a single, and he has driven in 2 runs. That's lead by a score of 4-3. Bernard is looking in to get a sign from Norm Sherry. Into the windup and the pitch. It's inside for ball 1. Don Rowe worked 3 1/3 innings in which he gave up no runs on only 4 hits, struck out 2 and walked none. Bernard with the pitch, swung on and fouled off. 1-1. Rubbing up the ball for a moment. That's trying to protect a scant 1-run lead here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. First game of a scheduled doubleheader. Big George Altman is on deck. Bernard with the 1-1 pitch to Boyer. Swung on and low bridged him up the middle for a base hit. Jim Pearsall up with it, relays it in, and Boyer is 4 for 4 in this game. He smashed that one right back toward the box and low bridge Larry Bernard. So the Cardinals open up here in the bottom of the 7th, getting the potential tying run on base. And left-hand batter George Altman's coming up. He has flied to right, walked, and flied to right. Charlie Neal coming in on the edge of the grass at third. Ken McKenzie up and throwing in the bullpen for the New York Mets. Here's the pitch to Altman, and it is low for a ball. Cardinals got the leadoff man on base in the 6th inning. Kurt Simmons getting on with a base hit. And then after Kurt flooded, had the bunt sign on a couple of pitches. It went 3-1, and he swung away on 3-1, hit into a double play. Now the pitch to Altman. Swung on. Ground ball taken by Cranepool. He goes to Moran. He's out to throw back, and he's safe at first base. It's Sudol calling Altman safe on the relay, but they got the lead man. And it goes 3-6 if you're scoring on Boyer. Altman on. On the fielder's choice, and Julian Javier is coming up. Javier's a right-hand batter. Grounded out short to first, lined to shortstop, and grounded out third to first. Ed Bauer and Bobby Shant throwing in the bullpen for the Cardinals, a lefty and a righty. Manager Johnny Keane wants to be able to go to the pinch hitter if the Cardinal rally stays alive that long. Bernard's pitch is low for ball 1. Jimmy Pearsall out in center field for the Mets. Got his first chance since joining the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. On a drive out there by Stan Musial. Long running catch. Pearsall is playing Javier straight away. Javier looking down to Vern Benson. Coach's third. Comes back in. Johnny Keane facing up and down in the Cardinal dugout. Altman leads at first base. Bernard's pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1 is the count. Julian Javier has excellent speed. And he scratches a lot of base hits, legs a lot of them out. Hoffman leads at first, and Bernard throws over. Runs him back. Cardinals have 12 hits to this point. Bernard checks, and here's the pitch. It's low and away. 2-1 to Julian Javier. The Mets 4, the Cardinals 3. Bernard looks in to get a sign from Norm Sherry. Has it now. Hoffman leads at first base. Here's the pitch, and it's inside. So it goes to 3 balls and 1 strike to Javier. Ken McKenzie continues to throw in the bullpen for the Mets. Both Shantz and Baruta continue to throw in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Bernard's working on the baseball. Hoffman at first represents potential tying run for the Cardinals. Here's a 3-1 pitch. He's running, and it's inside. He walks him. So Hoffman pulls up safely at second. Javier goes to first with the base on ball. And with 1 man out, catcher Gene Oliver's coming up. Oliver's been up 1 time. He struck out swinging. Batting against left-hander Don Rowe at the time. So the Cardinals have moved potential tying run scoring position at second base. Carl Sawatsky is being brought from the bullpen down into the dugout. He's left-hand batter. With Kurt Simmons due up here next. All right, the pitch to Oliver. Swung on and missed. It's strike 1. Carl Sawatsky has a bat in the dugout. Preparatory. Batting for Kurt Simmons. 1 man out, runners at first and second. Of course, the Mets would like to deny him that chance by pulling off twin killing. Swung out and missed. It's strike 2. Gene Oliver gets a handful of dirt. Steps back in. Big George Altman is the base runner at second, and Speedy Julian Javier is the base runner at first. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Fired tight. It's 1-2. Ron Taylor's going to pitch for the Cards in the second game today. Carl Willey will pitch the second game for the New York Mets. Now Bernard is set. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and there's a high pop to short left. Moran is out. Cook is coming in. Cook is called, and Cliff Cook puts it away. No at bat. So now it's going to be Sawatsky coming out to bat for Kurt Simmons. That'll be all for Simmons for the day. Sawatsky will hit, and then we'll get either Shantz or Baruta on the mound for the Cards in the next inning. Here's the announcement. So Kurt Simmons is out of the game, having pitched 7 innings in which he allowed 4 runs on 11 hits. He struck out 8 and walked 2, 1 of them intentionally. Carl Sawatsky has a batting average of .222. He has been up 56 times and has 12 hits, 3 home runs, and 7 runs batted in. A veteran National League performer and left-hand batter. Sawatsky has had 9 pinch home runs in the National League. So he settles himself into the batter's box now. facing young Larry Bernard. He checks him. Here's a pitch, and it's low for ball one. He takes the glasses off, cleans them a little bit, puts them on, takes them off again, and cleans them on his shirt this time. Now sets the helmet firmly on his head and steps back in. Off at second, Javier at first with 2 men out. The Mets lead 4-3. Pitch is fired tight. 2-0. Is down in the bullpen now, and Bauda continues to throw. Larry Bernard has his sign. This is a 2-0 pitch, and it's low, ball 3. 3-0 to pitch hitter Carl Sawatsky with Kurt Flood on deck. Sawatsky looks down to the kind man Vern Benson. No, I'm sure he walks out leisurely toward the mound. Now turns and comes back. He steps in again to await the 3-0 pitch. Bernard is set. Pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 3-1. Now Sherry goes all the way out to the mound this time. Turns and comes back. At first and second with 2 men out. This is a 3-1 pitch. It's on the way. Swung on and has a high foul ball down the line and right. Rainville gives it a run back there, but it's in the stance now to play. The count is full at 3-2. Ron Hunt had gone all the way over to the barrier, so had Crane Poole, and Jim Hickman had come in from right field. With 2 men out now, runners at first and second will be moving on the pitch. The Mets 4, the Cardinals 3. Carl Sawatsky swings the bat as he waits. Here's a payoff pitch. They're running. It's swung on, and it's a looper out into left, and Cliff Cook is underneath waiting, and he makes the catch for the out. So Carl Sawatsky has flied to left field, and in the bottom of the 7th, the Cardinals got no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left, and at the end of 7 full innings of play, it is the New York Mets 4, the St. Louis Cardinals 3, and now to bring you up to date on scores of other games all around the major leagues, here is Ralph Kiner.
A lot of action in baseball. In the National League, the Chicago Cubs have scored a run in the bottom half of the 7th to increase their lead over Houston. They lead by a score of 5-1 after 8 innings of play. McMahon now pitching for the Colt 45s. Bob Buell, the starter, still in for the Cubs. Home runs by Sano and Hubb. At Milwaukee, the Pirates lead the Braves 1-0, scoring a run in the top of the 7th inning on a home run by Clemente. Pitching in the game for Pittsburgh now is Haddock. Swall was the starter. Burkett going for the Milwaukee Braves. Philadelphia Phillies lead the Cincinnati Reds by a score of 5-4 after 7 innings of play. In the top of the 8th, though, a ticker message saying that Roy Sievers had just hit a grand slam home run. So now Philadelphia taking the lead by a score of 9-4 over Cincinnati. Philadelphia playing a doubleheader with the Reds today. Los Angeles and San Francisco, the Giants lead 1-0 after 1. Drysdale and Sanford, a home run by Davenport to count for the only score. The The New York Yankees lead Washington 2-1 after 6.5. Ronstadt going for Washington, Boughton going for the Yankees. Howard and Mantle home runs. Mantle's 10th in the 6th. That's the first of two. Chicago trailing Minnesota by a score of 4-2 after 7. Wilhelm and Perry, Versailles and Killebrew home runs in that one. Baltimore coming from behind, and they now lead by a score of 10-6 over the Cleveland Indians. Stock and Allen, the pitchers there. Robinson and Gentile home runs. Also in the American League, the Detroit Tigers lead Boston by a score of 9-2 after 6.5. LeMahieu and Bunning. That's the first of two. Kansas City at Los Angeles. Pena and Orsinski, the starting pitchers in that one. Right now, though, back to Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph Kiner. Ed Bauer is the pitcher in there now, and Norm Cherry's at the plate, and he swings and pops one up in foul territory. Gene Oliver chases it back, has a play, and takes it for the out. So Cherry has fouled out to catcher Gene Oliver. There is one away, and pitcher Larry Bernard is coming up. Bernard's been up 5 times this season without a hit. The Mets sent Rod Cannell down to the bullpen a moment ago, possibly indicative of his intention to send him into the ball game as defensive replacement in later innings. Pitcher's in there for a call strike to Bernard. One man out, nobody on base. Mets batting in the top of the 8th. Now this pitch misses outside, and it's 1-1. Now Duke Snyder is going down into the bullpen area, loosening up. Swing and a foul ball. It's 1-2 to Larry Bernard. Snyder did not get into yesterday's ball game. Now here's the 1-2 pitch to Bernard. It misses low for a ball. It's 2-2. Very little wind blowing here at the ballpark in St. Louis at this moment. Flag center field just moving around lazily. That pitch is in there for a call, strike 3. And Jimmy Pearsall is coming up for the Mets. 3 for 4 today. Double, single, and grounded out. Has a breaking ball, turned him inside, but was on the corner for a call strike one, and the crowd started a little murmur, and Jimmy turned and stared at the crowd all around, and of course that gets an additional reaction. And again, about a touch to go. Pearsall tries to bunt the ball, and it's fouled off for strike 2. Trying to push one down the first base line, and of course the crowd is whooping it up now. Pearsall's had fine days, 3 for 4 and 1 running catch in the outfield. Chicago Cubs have defeated the Houston Colt 45s 5-1. Bob Buell, the winner. Dick Trotz, the loser. Santo and Hubbs homered for the Cubs. Cubs will be at the Polo Grounds on Tuesday night. There's a swing and a drive into the glove of White at first base, and Pearsall pounds the dirt with his bat as he lined that one into the glove of Bill White at first base. And in the top of the 8th, the Mets go out in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. At the end of 7.5, it's the Mets 4, the Cardinals 3. And now, a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
We're the Brothers Four with a song about Fair Susanna. A handsome gambler named Cornelius Oliver McCoy went to call on Fair Susanna with a carton of Viceroy. He knew Susanna swore she'd never marry a gambling man, but she didn't reckon with McCoy and his winning Viceroy brand.
Oh, Susanna, so beautiful and bright, she found that Viceroy's not too strong and Viceroy's not too light.
Now McCoy's remarkable planning made the victory complete, 'cause Viceroy and his winning charm had swept her off her feet.
Now Susanna is Mrs. McCoy, and they owe their wedded happiness to the taste of Viceroy.
Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste.
Not too strong, not too light, Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
That's right, that's right.
Viceroy
during the bottom half of the 8th inning. Duke Snyder is now playing left field for the New York Mets. Coming up is Kurt Flood for the St. Louis Cardinals. And coming in here now is Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Lindsay, and once again, hi there. It's another real great ball game coming your way. The score 4-3, and Larry Bernard out to defend the lead for Don Roll, who is the pitcher record on the winning side. Larry came in the game in the 7th inning. In that time, he gave up while pitching to 5 batters a base hit. Also walked the man, but he got pinch hitter Carl Sawatsky for the final out of the 7th inning on a fly ball to left field to keep the Cardinals from scoring. The Cardinals haven't scored a run since the 3rd inning. They'll start out here with their leadoff man, Kurt Flood, who has 1 hit and 4 times up. Flood, a right-hand batter. The first pitch by Bernard is popped up high in the air to shallow center. Pearsall playing to shallow center, moving in. Now chasing the ball in as the wind blows it in, and he makes the catch. Jimmy Pearsall, who excited the fans here in the last inning, making his 2nd put out for the New York Mets. He didn't make his first put out until the 6th inning of this game. He played the first 2 games for the Mets here in St. Louis without accepting a chance in the outfield. So 1 out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the batter will be Dick Gross. Dick has 1 hit and 3 times up, a right-hand batter. And the first pitch by Bernard, the fastball through in the inside corner for strike 1. Well, the Baltimore Orioles did it again. They won 10-6 over Cleveland, scoring 6 runs in the last 3 innings to win it. They're currently the hottest team in baseball, and they lead the American League. Pitch back is fouled off to the right side, and the count now strike 2. For the Orioles, the winning pitcher was Milt Stock in relief. He came in the game in the 5th inning. Should say West Stock. And the losing pitcher for Cleveland, Dick Donovan. Home runs by Robinson and Gentile in that ball game. 2 strike count to Dick Gross. And Dick looks at a curve that's too far outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The on-deck batter, Bill White. The Mets on top. They have a 4-3 lead. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning, 1 man out. Now the right-hander with the sign. And the pitch to Gross. Slider just missing outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larry Bernard wears contact lenses. He's turned out to be a real surprise addition to the Mets pitching staff. He has pitched fine baseball for them as a relief man. Right here, he's in a real tough spot, working as the end man as the Mets lead. There's a base hit in the hall. Ball going on through to left field. Grote rounds at first and hauls. So Dick Grote, who started the ball game batting .343, has now picked up his 2nd base hit in the game. He represents the tying run. And we're going to get a pinch runner for Dick as the Cardinals bat here in the bottom half of the 8th with 1 out. It's going to be Dal Maxwell running for Dick Grote. Maxwell, a much faster man than Dick. He'll also play in the infield. Probably take Dick's place at short. The batter now is Bill White, a left-hand batter. Bill's had a fine day, a perfect day. He's 3 for 3. And the first pitch by Bernard is low for ball 1. White has also walked, so he has reached 4 times in this ball game. He, along with Ken Boyer, on base 8 times, the 2 of them. Ken McKenzie again throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. The Mets lead by 1 run. Now Bernard back to the plate with a slider. A little blooper down the 3rd base side. It's in foul territory. Ball dropping in, but foul by about 2 feet. Charlie Neal made a fine pursuit on the ball. He couldn't quite get up to it. And fortunately, the ball did curve foul. The Mets got beat by the Los Angeles Dodgers with a ball hit just like that. Only it was Willie Davis batting, and he hit the ball in fair territory, and it beat the Mets a very important ball game out on the coast. This time, though, it's a strike, and the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. White batting at .319 with his 3 for 3 here today. Dick Grote batting .346 with his 2 for 4. thrown out of the ball game, and Maxwell in the game as a pinch runner for Dick. And now time called as Bill White goes back to the bat rack to pick out another bat. Mets have 4 runs on a total of 11 base hits. The Cardinals have 3 runs, and they have made 13 base hits. Right after this out by Bill White, we'll use the opportunity to pause for station identification. Maxwell with a shallow lead at first, and the pitch back to White is lined to the shortstop. A one-hopper knocked down. A play at first base, not in time. Throw never coming off. That ball, a real smash. It's going to be scored a base hit. Not lucky to get his glove on the ball. Knocked the ball down, but he couldn't regain his footing to make a throw on the speedy Bill White. Ralph Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from St. Louis, and the St. Louis Cardinals here in the bottom half of the 8th inning are threatening once again. Manager Casey Stengel has gone to the mound. Ken McKenzie is warming up in the bullpen. The batter to bat next will be Stan Musial, and there's the sign out for the left-hander to come into the game. So Larry Bernard, after giving up 2 hits, will go out of the ball game. He came in the game in the 7th inning, and officially he worked 1 1/3 innings. Cardinals getting to him so far for no runs. He had given up 3 base hits, striking out none and walking 1. Up to Ken McKenzie, a left-hander, to try and hold the St. Louis Cardinals as they threaten here with 1 out in the bottom half of the 8th. The Mets lead by 1 run, but the Cardinals have the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first, and Sam Musial batting. McKenzie has appeared in 13 games. He has a record of 3-1. He has worked a total of 17 2/3 innings, giving up 15 hits. He has allowed 10 earned runs, and he has walked 5 and struck out 14. Ken, a left-hander, taking his warm-up pitches. Sam Musial, the first man that Ken will pitch to, has 1 hit and 4 times up. In the 6th inning, Jimmy Pearsall made a fine play on him to retire the side and keep the Cardinals from scoring the tying run. Sam batting .241 for the season with 7 home runs and 21 runs batted in. So Ken will have a real tough job. Behind Musial, Ken Boyer, who has a perfect day going at 4 for 4. Both Boyer and Bill White with 4 hits in the ball game. Cardinals with the hit total showing 14 base hits. Now we're all set to go. Stan Musial, the batter's box. McKenzie checking his outfield. The Mets playing a double play dip, hoping to pick up a double play to get out of the inning. And the first pitch to Musial, a fastball outside for ball 1. Tracy Stollard now warming up in the bullpen for the Mets. Duke Carmel warming up in the bullpen for the St. Louis Cardinals. He'll go in the game as a possible defensive replacement. 1 ball count to Stan Musial. Now McKenzie sets a look at second, and the pitch back to the plate is a curve that is just outside for ball 2. McKenzie just missing with a fine pitch, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Cardinals have threatened in the game in the latter innings. They have left men on base in every inning. Now at 2-0 to Stan Musial, and there's a drive to right. Back in the warning track is Hickman. He's there, and he makes the catch. Holding at second base, not attempting to go to third, is Dow Maxwell. So Musial lines out to right field, and now it'll be Ken Boyer. The Mets with 2 outs
But Boyer has 4 for 4 so far today. Boyer doubled to right to drive in a run in the first inning. He singled to left to drive in a run in the third. He doubled to left as the leadoff man in the fifth, was left there as Don Rowe pitched out of that jam. Then his last time up, as the first man to face Larry Bernard, he singled off a curveball through the middle. So Boyer, a real hot batter in the batter's box. He's batting .335 now. Runners at first and second. The Mets lead 4-3. 2 out in the eighth, and the first pitch to the right-hand batter is low for ball 1. Cardinals with the top team in the league in team batting at .269. They have some powerful hitters in their lineup. McKenzie with a 1-ball count. Looking for the sign from Norm Sherry. He gets it, takes the stretch, and here's the pitch. It's on the inside corner, strike 1. Boyer pulling away, and the ball backed up right on the inside corner. So the count now even at 1-1. Al Maxville at second base. Bill White at first. 2 very fast men. McKenzie sets. And the 1-1 pitch. A base hit to left field. Coming in now is Duke Snyder. Scoring from second base is Al Maxville. And holding at second base is Bill White. Base hit in the ball game. His 10th base hit in this series, tying up the ball game as he has driven in his 3rd run of this game, and the score is tied at 4-4. Now we're going to have a pinch hitter for the next batter, George Altman. It's going to be Charlie James. Well, it's not often that a ball player has a 5-for-5 day, but believe me, the 5 hits by Boyer today have all been line shots. He has hit the ball perfectly in every trip to the plate. Score tied at 4-4, still 2 outs. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and Charlie James coming up. James, a right-hand batter, is batting .287. He has 2 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Now the pitch to the plate and foul straight back for strike 1. The only other player in the National League this year to have 5 hits in a game was Frank Robinson. Boyer's 5 hits, jumping his average from .319 to .339. Here's the pitch to James, and there's a fly ball deep to left field. It's going to go all the way. It's a home run. We haven't seen, we did see a home run by Charlie James for 3 runs, and it broke the tie, and the Cardinals now lead 7-4. Coming out is Casey Stengel. He's going to make a change. Well, last year, Charlie James was a real thorn in the side of the New York Mets. He beat them with a home run right in this ballpark last year in the bottom of the 9th inning. If my memory serves me correctly, the home run came off Ken McKenzie. So Ken has given up a home run. One of the 3-run scoring charged against Bernard. That's the 5th earned run he has given up this year. The other 2 go against McKenzie. McKenzie gets credit for 1/3 inning of work, and he gave up in that time 2 hits and a total of 2 runs against his record and 2 against Bernard. 4 runs in for the St. Louis Cardinals. A change on the mound. We're going to have Tracy Stoddard. And with 2 men out, he'll work to Julian Javier. On July 27th, right here at St. Louis last year, Charlie James hit a home run to give the Cards a 6-5 victory. In that game, Davio was the losing pitcher. But James certainly a tough man as far as the Mets are concerned. Here's the first pitch by Tracy Stollard. The curveball swung on a miss by Javier for strike one. Stollard appeared in yesterday's ball game. This is his 13th appearance. And he comes back with a fastball that's on. One ball now, I should say one strike, now two. Stollard's record 0-3 for the year. Gave up 3 hits and 2 runs in yesterday's game. Now he misses with a curve outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Javier 0 for 3 in the game. Cardinals with 16 base hits to go with their 7 runs. 4 of the hits coming in this inning, accounting for the 4 runs as they have taken over the lead. Here's the pitch back to Javier. Curveball swung on a miss for strike 3, so Stollard retires the side. In the inning, though, the Cardinals score 4 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors. No one was left on. And the score at the end of 8 innings of play, the St. Louis Cardinals 7, the New York Mets 4. Well, it's certainly a tough blow to any ball club to have a lead taken away in a real quick fashion like that. But the Mets are playing fine baseball inasmuch as they have battled back in many occasions to do very well and stay in the ball game. Right here, they were battling back after 2 losses with the St. Louis Cardinals. Had the game their way 4-3 up till the bottom half of the 8th inning. Well, baseball is baseball all the time. You get a real good chance to relive some of your old memories on June 27th at the Polo Grounds. It'll be Old Timers Day, and you'll get to see some of your former favorite players playing in the Polo Grounds in their advanced stages, let's say. It'll be the American League Stars from the metropolitan area of New York against the National League Stars. And there'll be players such as Hank Greenberg, Maurice Russo, Buddy Hassett, Sal Evars. Monty Irvin will be in that game. And, of course, John Murphy, who works for the New York Mets, one of the greatest relief pitchers ever to pitch. John pitched for the New York Yankees and compiled a tremendous record for them. It was Lefty Gomez who said that as long as Johnny Murphy's around, I think maybe I could win 30 ball games. Also, don't forget that the tickets for the Mayor's Trophy game between the Mets and the Yankees at Yankee Stadium on Monday night, June 3rd, are on sale at all New York Met ticket outlets. Tickets also may be obtained by mail by writing to Ticket Manager, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. Well, we're all set to go in the top of the 9th inning. It's Ed Bauta on the mound, and the first pitch to Charlie Neal is inside, a fastball for ball 1. For the Cardinals, Dal Maxfield has stayed in the ball game in place of Dick Grote at short. Duke Carmel has gone to right field, and Charlie James has stayed in. He'll be in left. There's a swing and a foul for strike 1. Flood in center field. So the outfield, Carmel, Flood, and James. The infield, White, Javier, Maxville, and Boyer. The catcher is Gene Oliver. On the mound, Ed Bauta, who came in the ball game in relief of Kurt Simmons. Simmons, the starting pitcher, went 7 innings, was charged with the 4 runs scored by the Mets. Bauta came in the 8th inning. He has worked the 3 men, getting them all. It'll be Charlie Neal, Ron Hunt, and Duke Snyder against the right-hand pitcher here in the top of the 9th inning. The Mets need 3 to tie. Neal has 2 hits and 4 times up. And the pitch back to Neal is fouled away for strike 2. Neal behind a fastball, slicing the ball down the right field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch back to Neal. He throws his bat at the curveball, misses it. Strike 3. Neal completely fooling the curveball, trying to get a piece of the bat on the ball, and the bat flew out of his hand, moving on down to the first base side. So Bada has picked up a strikeout, his first out in the ninth inning, and now it will be up to Ron Hunt. Ron has 2 hits in 3 times up. He also was robbed of an extra base hit by George Altman. And it was his bunt that scored the go-ahead run for the Mets to put them out in front 4-3 before they lost the lead in the bottom half of the 8th. There's a check swing. The ball right back to the mound. Bada picks it up, throws the first for out number 2. So now it'll be Duke Snyder batting for the first time. It'll be up to Duke to keep it alive. St. Louis Cardinals have 7 runs on a total of 16 base hits. The Mets have 4 runs on 11. The first pitch to Duke Snyder is looked at, a strike call. 2 men out here in the top of the 9th inning. Mets trying to keep the rally alive. Now the pitch back to Snyder, low, it's ball 1. Here's a final on that New York Yankee game. The Yankees won at 7-1 to keep pace with Baltimore, who also won. Winning pitcher was Bowden. He's now 6-1. Howard and Mantle home runs. Mantle has 10. Neal has 2 hits and 4 times up. And the pitch back to Neal is fouled away for strike 2. Neal behind a fastball, slicing the ball down the right field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back to Neal. He throws his bat at a curveball, misses it. Strike 3. Neal completely fooling the curveball, trying to get a piece of the bat on the ball, and the bat flew out of his hand, moving on down to the first base side. So Bada has picked up a strikeout, his first out in the 9th inning, and now it will be up to Ron Hunt. Ron has 2 hits in 3 times up. He also was robbed of an extra base hit by George Altman. And it was his bunt that scored the go-ahead run for the Mets to put them out in front 4-3 before they lost the lead in the bottom half of the 8th. There's a check swing. The ball right back to the mound. Bada picks it up, throws the first for out number 2. So now it'll be Duke Snyder batting for the first time. It'll be up to Duke to keep it alive. St. Louis Cardinals have 7 runs on a total of 16 base hits. The Mets have 4 runs on 11. And the first pitch to Duke Snyder is looked at, a strike call. 2 men out here in the top of the 9th inning. Mets trying to keep the rally alive. Now the pitch back to Snyder, low, it's ball 1. Here's a final on that New York Yankee game. The Yankees won at 7-1 to keep pace with Baltimore, who also won. Winning pitcher was Bowden. He's now 6-1. Howard and Mantle home runs. Mantle has 10. Right here at 7-4, Snyder batting, and he looks outside again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Balls and 1 strike. Duke Snyder, a left-hand batter in the batter's box. Duke is batting .233. He leads the club in home runs with 7. There's a Warren hit deep to center field, but Flood has room there. He waits, moves in now as the wind takes the ball, and that's the ball game. 3 up and 3 down in the top of the 9th inning, and the St. Louis Cardinals win it by scoring 4 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning by a score of 7-4. For the Cardinals, 7 runs on 16 hits, no errors. They left 12 on. The Mets had 4 runs, 11 hits. They made no errors. And the Mets left 9 men on base. So we had a total of 27 base hits in the ball game. The first of a doubleheader. Don't forget, we'll have a second game coming your way. It'll be Carl Willie going for the Mets against Ron Taylor. This will be the final game of this 14-game homestand. I should say road trip. The Mets will come home for a 15-game homestand starting Tuesday night, May 28th. They'll play on Memorial Day, May 30th, after a day off on Thursday. And that doubleheader will be against the Chicago Cubs. Well, baseball certainly is a funny game in many respects. You see, some of the fellows come along and zoom to the top, and then suddenly they're back in the minors. But I guess that's true of a lot of things. Take beer, for example. It's like baseball in that to stay on top, you really got to have it. And I guess you'll agree that Rheingold has really got it. It's been New York's favorite beer for many, many years. And Rheingold's amazing popularity can be explained by two little words, extra dry. Rheingold brews the long, slow, costlier way, so you get a dividend in taste. A taste that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. Yes, Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. But find that out for yourself. Enjoy a tall, refreshing glass of Rheingold right now. Join the millions who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Well, the ball game, certainly an exciting game. It can all be wrapped up, I guess, right in the 8th inning when the Cardinals came from behind to score 4 runs to take the lead away from the Mets. They had built a 4-3 lead. The big blow in the ball game was a 3-run home run by pinch hitter Charlie James, and that gave the Cardinals a 7-4 lead, which they held on to as relief pitcher Ed Bauta picked up his second win of the year. He was the winning pitcher. He has lost one so far. The losing pitcher for the Mets was Larry Bernard. He now has a record of 1 win and 1 loss, and it was a real tough loss for Larry.